Welcome everyone, today I have a new Diablo 4 video. Now in this video, I actually want to give my reviews and also thoughts about the latest changes with the Season 1 patch, and what happens on the 18th of July, and why lots of players are actually leaving the game for a bit and maybe quitting the game. So we have lots of information over here. We can see that the Diablo 4 game has been losing about 10% of its player base, and you can see some very steep curves. And over here, you can also see some of my comments from my viewers that they are leaving the game, uninstalling the game, and I was getting a little worried myself as well. So this video, what I want to do is, I want to take some time to share you my thoughts about the game and what happened with the latest patch, and how does this affect us as players. So there's a few things I want to discuss with you guys. And I have been thinking about making this video since I read the patch, but I didn't know how to do it. But after reading some of the comments from my viewers, I realized that maybe I should make the video to talk about this and to see how we can help to improve the game as gamers. Now in the second part of the video, I also want to share with you guys one of the frustration I had with the game that almost made me quit the game. So yes, I was playing the game and I actually stopped playing for close to a week because of this, and I'll share with you guys on the second part. So coming over to a screenshot of some of my comments. A lot of players were saying that they have decided to stop playing the game for a while, or uninstall the game, or wait for a better improvement for Season 1. And you can see some of the comments that was posted about 1 hour or 2 hours ago. Now there's also other comments I was mentioning there was hidden shadow nerfs to the World Difficulty 3 and also World Difficulty 4. You have to be level 40 and also level 60 to even clear the capstone dungeon to unlock this. So those were not even revealed in the patch notes. And what you can see over here is I did go onto Google and search up the player base. You can see that Diablo 4 has been losing about 10% of the player base since the launch of the game about 1 to 2 months ago. And here you can see a very steep decline of player base during the 14th of July. Now I do believe around that time that's when the Uber items were removed from the game. Maybe that's one of the reasons. Maybe they had a hotfix. But overall, what we can see is, we can see that Diablo 4 game has been losing about 10% or 12% of its player base since last month. So over here, I have made a small summary. Let's briefly have a look what happens on the 18th of July with the patch. So there are various nerfs to most of the classes. A lot of the fun builds, a lot of the builds that was a little buggy, lots of the build was the stable or the best meta build for the classes were taken away because of the damage nerfs, because of the skills, because of the cooldowns. And this also includes some of the legendary effects that was crucial in certain builds in the game. Now I know there were some bug fixes and there was damage numbers that was way too high, but the way they approach with the nerfs is that they are approached with the critical and also vulnerability nerf, which would have affected all the builds and all the classes. Now together with the experience nerf from leveling your alt characters from leveling for 3 levels above you, back then we got 25%, now we get like 4.5% more experience. And there are some loot nerfs in the overworld. There's cooldown nerfs, there's survivability nerfs. Now together with all those nerfs, what we got was that we got a bit of damage boost from other sources by 20 to 25%, which make most of the classes and most of the builds more glass cannon. Now if you guys do want to have a quick read of the notes over here, I have the official links available for you guys. You can see there's job rate adjustments, there was experience adjustment. Now even if we look at the job rate increase of the Helltide, there's some certain downside with the Nightmare Dungeons and also Helltide with more drop of items. Now the reason being is, we'll talk about this, we don't have an item filter. Without item filter, what's going to happen is you'll spend 5 minutes play the game and then your bag will be full of items from Nightmare Dungeons. And then you spend 5 minutes clearing those items without an item filter. And then the game experience is not fluent. And this is one of the quality of life I want to discuss with you guys on the second part. Now one of the second thing I want to mention for Season 1 is that the patch notes and also the items that was added to the game, we do get some unique items and also legendaries. Those looks good and interesting. I have a friend that is planning to play sources with the teleportation stuff. But I do feel like they do not provide us with enough variability and enough for the new builds. And by nerfing the existing build, then players are left with no exciting builds and also nothing to look forward to for Season 1. And this is the biggest concern. Now, we could argue that the new gems with the Malevolent Heart looks very interesting. and I do agree with this. I do plan to play a lot of those gems around, and I do plan to play with the companions with the druid so I can summon some wolves. And this is one of my exciting parts for playing the druid. And yes guys, we'll talk about this. I'm not playing barbarians anymore because I'll make a video about the tier list soon. You get to see my reasons behind why barbarians is not looking great. So notice that there's a variety of gems for different classes and for general classes. But one of the things is, notice that the most powerful gems, the worth gems, it seems like those gems has already been nerfed down to the class. Those gems are something that is needed for the class to bring the class back online to the original state. So what I mean by that is that before we could take advantage of the new gems and also new power boosts or the spike to feel powerful and also strong in the game, it seems that the developers have nerfed the classes and also the abilities in some ways. One of the examples is that the charge build for the barbarians, which there's a new legendary allows you to charge multiple times, right? I think there's a new unique legendary, and this allows you to charge it with 4 engines. But they have nerfed the charges cooldown reduction and also the ability to perform charges non-stop for a new build for the barbarians. And similarly, the druid was nerfed because of the unstoppableness from the ultimate skills, from the Grizzly Rage. And in order to compensate the nerf of the Grizzly Rage unstoppableness, the druid is likely going to be controlled more by stun, freeze, or knockdown. And to compensate this, we get a chance of automatically casting Grizzly Rage when you're hard stunned. So notice that those gems, although they're interesting, it feels like they're must-haves to make your build back to normal. I don't think this is the intention, and maybe I'm being a little too harsh, but for me personally, looking at the barbarians and also the druid, which I played the most during the pre-season, you can see the barbarians, they get some decent damage reduction, but this is much needed. The barbarians is a melee class, and if you don't have any damage reduction, if you don't have any defensiveness, which was massively nerfed, you're gonna have a hard time in the later stage of the game. Now this also comes back to the goal of the developers. You can see that this particular message or in such a way will come quite often. So this is saying for the long-term health of the game. And I do believe this is a very good goal. But the means and the method of achieving players playing the game for longer is more important than the actual achieving the goal itself. I think the method is quite important. What I'm saying right now is the developers are making the game more difficult through nerfing existing build, existing classes, and also existing method of playing the game. Players don't like changes. We have been playing for 1 to 2 months of the game, and we don't like a sudden change with new content that everything we worked so hard for is no longer viable. Now, by making the players have a weaker defense and also reduce the damage from critical and also vulnerability means that we're dying more often in the endgame. We're doing less damage in the endgame. And this together will create frustration and drive casual players away. I'm sure the developers are aware, for Diablo 4, there's a lot of players that never played Diablo before, that never played action RPG like this before. So for those players, the game itself should be more straightforward, should be more enjoyable instead of grinding for some improvement and also being affected by those harsh changes for the endgame. Now, what I really want to see is that for players to actually be able to create new fun build and also play exciting new content in different mode of the endgame, and maybe challenges and then maybe different boss mechanics. So I do think by making the players more excited to play the game is better than making the players frustrated through the downsizing, through the weakening of the players and also the build. So in terms of the longevity and also health of the game, I do feel like as players, we want to be excited to play. And here I want to talk about, what made me almost quit the game. So this is actually, something I want to share with you guys. Now coming over to the second part of the video. So here I want to briefly share a bit of my thoughts about what are the future directions we can approach as gamers. I'm not saying I'm a developer, I'm not saying I know what's happening, but just as gamers that plays the game a lot, and I see a lot of comments, a lot of feedbacks from different viewers and also different players. So for me personally, bug fixes in the game are fine. We expect nerfs and also buffs on different patches. But what I feel is lacking a little bit for the game is that the availability to give the players some time to mentally adjust and also strategizing and also adjust for the changes before the hits. So one of the things that almost broke, me with Diablo is that I was attempting to clear tier 100 with Barbarian. And as you guys know, it's quite hard for Barbarians to clear tier 100 back about a week ago. and it's even harder now with the nerfs. So during this time, I was, me and max my build. I had armor close to, 9,000 or, close to 10,000 armor. And I was using a build that improved on having maximum fury that provides me with fortify. Notice that this helmet is currently on the minimum roll from 14 to 28. So my previous helmet with the crafting of the codex from the Oculus, previously there seems to be a bug. And the bug itself is that if you craft this one onto the helmet, it will provide the players with 32 more maximum fortify gain from maximum fury. Notice here it says 4 fortify gain now, because they have changed this one to the minimum, right? So notice, yes, my helmet is currently on 14, but previously my helmet was on 32. And this was I think previously it was on 36. Now this is a pretty sizable change, and you can see in most of my other helmets, this one's on 12 to 24. So those are sizable changes to my actual build before I actually have chance to, adjust for this. And during the time, I did not save any of the legendaries. I did not extract any of the legendaries that would have rolled, close to 24 or close to 28. So I didn't save those because I didn't expect a change of this coming. I thought this is just a part of the game. So they never addressed that this was a bug. And later they said, oh, we're going to fix the bug. And by fixing this, all your existing gears will be nerfed to the ground. And this means I cannot no longer attempt tier 100. And I have spent over 200 million gold min-maxing my gears, and all of a sudden my build is not working anymore. So for me personally, having bug fixes, having changes, having patch changes is okay, but maybe give the players some time to manually adjust for this and to be prepared for this is even better. And if you guys have noticed, yes, I have taken a break, about a week break from Diablo 4. One of the reasons was because of this. The other reason is just to rest my voice and also prepare for Season 1. Just, physically prepare for it with a bit of break. So the second part is, I do want to address a little bit. We have mentioned about this multiple times. For a good game like Diablo 4, what we're looking for are the minor details or the things with quality of life. Now we have been asking for item filter, and one of the biggest things is the improvement of the loot in the game. So notice that the increase in the loot of the game, but without a good item filter, this will take us into, we're basically playing item filtering simulator. You play for 5 minutes, you sell items for 5 minutes, and then repeat this. We want a smooth game. So something along the line with an item filter, or maybe with an auto looting pad. Maybe you can auto sell the items or salvage items we don't need. Now finally, we have talked about this multiple times. We want more stash space, we want more storage, we want more gems inventory that is separate in the account. So notice here I'm having a few gems, and all of a sudden my inventory is getting kind of full. And there's a lot of inventory here that seems to be a little awkward, to be honest. And I understand the game of Diablo, you tend to have inventory management. But having more stash doesn't hurt, right? Currently we only have 4 tabs. Maybe with Season 1 we can have more tabs. Well, that's not confirmed. So during the recording of this video, we're about 14 hours before Season 1. And I do apologize a little bit for making a video that is not that, positive. Because for me, I do want to share those ideas about the game. And this is not because I want to get you guys to quit the game, but rather I love the game and I want to see this game doing better. And finally guys, if the developers actually try to sell me some stashes, I'll be not happy, because as you guys know, there's also another game called Path of Exile, which I have played for many hours in the past. I'm not saying I'm an expert for the game, but that game was free to play. And I was okay with buying stash spaces and also buying other things in the game because the game was free to play. Now if I played Diablo 4 and paid over $100 for the game, I don't expect to be buying for more stash. Because, I'm okay with buying inventory. No, I'm okay with buying skins. I'm not okay with buying inventory. Because that's just the next level for me. They better not be doing this in the future. But I've heard they may be doing this. So let me know what you guys think. What do you think about the list of the message I tried to send? And what are your thoughts about the latest changes for Diablo 4? Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, no-meta builds, leveling up, and also Paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates, and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4.